Alright, I'm reshooting this video that we did on the live the other week so that I can get you some better pictures on what it is that you'll see. So this is in fact a BTEC radio. It's the UV5X3, which is exactly the same as the baofengs. Baofengs, it just has this 220 band in it, which you can see on the display now. I want to point a couple of things out that you'll see. So right now it's in what they call VFO mode, or frequency mode is the name that it calls it. So you can switch back and forth. The yellow button right here
channel mode
is in channel mode,
frequency mode.
and frequency mode. Commonly known as they labeled it on here as VFO and memory. So when we're in channel mode, you'll see numbers on the side here. That is the memory number position. To actually enter something into a memory, program it, you have to be in VFO or frequency mode.
Frequency mode.
You can tell that because there's nothing on the side here. Right now it's in a simplex mode because you don't have anything across the top of the display here, and as they pop up I'll point those out to you. You have a little arrow here that indicates that's the channel of the two that you can have on the display that you're listening to and will transmit on. If you hit the AB button, it drops down here. Now you can program this radio so that you can listen to both at the same time. I strongly suggest that you do not do that, and at least until you're very comfortable and very familiar, because it is an art to listen to two at the same time and then figure out which one you're replying to. So, and to program it, you have to be in this top one. So first of all, there's a couple other little things in here that you can turn on and off. And there are shortcuts to get to the menu, the feature menu. So if you hit the menu button, it tells you where you are. On the right hand side you'll see a little number, and that's the memory, or sorry, the menu number option. If we go to 08, whoops, and if you wait too long it kicks you out.
Menu.
Alright, so 08 is this beep. It's very annoying. You hit menu, that's when you can get into where you change it, and the up and down arrows toggle you through. So that's beep off, hit menu again to confirm it, and now that annoying beep is off. Alright, so that's the first thing I always do. The other one, 02, is your transmit power. Normally, I'm sorry I keep hitting the camera, normally you're going to leave this at high, unless you've programmed some other frequencies in it, simplex, that you want on low power, because obviously you only need to use as much power as you need to make the transmission. So that's an option that you can change, and also if you store it into memory, that's stored into the memory with it. Alright, so let's look at programming, first of all, a simplex frequency. Simplex, sometimes called direct, that is where your radio is talking directly to another radio. You're limited on range by the terrain, the type of antenna, and a number of other factors. So, you know, when you see these radios advertised, and particularly it's always comical with the what we call the bubble pack radios they sell in the box stores, which are really FRS radios, and they'll have on them 30-mile range. 30 miles, my left finger, you know, they're 2 watts at most, half a watt on some channels if they're programmed legally, and 2 watts on UHF frequency isn't going to get you very far. It will work better in an urban area than it will a wooded area. So VHF works better in wooded areas, UHF works better in urban areas, just because of the way that it transmits through the leaves and trees and in and around buildings. Alright, so there's really only about 4 memory functions that you really need to be able to program a radio, And you need to gather that information beforehand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these as separate videos, not one big video. It's going to be quicker for me to turn it around, easier for you to get up there. So the video that I have that's on obtaining your frequencies, whether it's GMRS, FRS, and the ham stuff, look at that video and write yourself down, create yourself a list. I'm going to show you how to do it manually. And I'm also going to put another video up on the two different software applications that are out there. Whoops, one of those is, sorry, my phone is on. One of those is the free software called Chirp, and I'll show you some tricks and tips with that. And the other one is RT Systems, and again I'll show you how that works with some screen grabs, and I'll put that in another video for you. Alright, so we're going to program this with a simplex frequency, and I'm going to pick the national simplex frequency 146.520. Alright, so all we're going to do is we're in this frequency mode, and I'm going to enter 1,
1, 4, 6, 5, 2, 0.
You always want to go to that last 0, and that's it. Providing that there's no other numbers across the top of the screen from a previous programming. So if you have previously programmed this with a repeater frequency, you're going to have to go in and turn those off. So I'll show you how to do that. So the frequency we're going to put in for a repeater, 146.670 with a PL tone of 100. So we're going to enter the frequency.
1, 4, 6, 6, 7, 0.
Alright, now we're going to go into menu, and there's a couple that we're going to do. We're going to put the transmit tone in. So let me back up 1 second. The frequency we enter is the frequency that the repeater sends out. So it's the output frequency of the repeater, and if you look in the other video, some places list them differently, different terminology. With tones, you can have what's an analog tone, and that's going to be 100.0, 67 point something. There's a standard list, and you'll see that when we get to that part of the menu, those lists are in there. The other one is a digital one, and the different radios have them called differently. So the baofengs and variants call it CTCS. Its full name is abbreviation is CTCSS, which nobody ever uses. They abbreviate it to CTCS because of character space. Other places call it tone or PL tone. In ham speak, we commonly call it tone. And like I said, there can be the analog version or the digital version, depending on what you need. For this repeater, we're using an analog version. So I need to enter that. So I can do menu.
Menu.
And 13 is the transmit tone. And right now you can see it's turned off. So I hit menu again.
CTCSS.
And I scroll through the list. So depending if I go up or down is the way the frequencies go. So I said we're going to use 100. Oops, 100. Hit menu again.
Confirm.
It's confirmed. Now I need to set the offset. That is the shift between the receive and the transmit. So I receive on one frequency, I transmit on the other. In the list that you'll get, it's going to be a plus or minus. So go back into the menu.
Menu.
26 is the shift. Offset. Oh, sorry, 26 is the offset. And that's how much. So, and 25, so let's go 25.
Offset frequency.
Oops, hang on. Exit. Alright.
Menu.
20. I typed wrong. My fat fingers. 2, 5. There we go. Offset, plus or minus are your options.
Direction.
Frequency direction. And we're going to say it's minus. Menu.
Confirm.
The next one, 26. So if I can hit the button, I can either hit 26 or the arrow. VHF is typically 0.6, so 0, 0, 0, 6, 0, 0. Menu.
Confirm.
To confirm it. So VHF or 2 meters is typically 0.6. VHF, the 440 frequencies, is typically 5. but you need to look at the repeater. There are some parts of the state where they have not normal offsets just because of frequencies that were available. So we have the offset in there, we have the direction in there, and we have the tone in there. And that's all we need. So if I hit transmit, you're going to see that frequency, 146.67, go negative by 0.6. And so that's it. Now if I want to put it into a memory, maybe I've got a list and I know what one's empty and I want to put it into. If there's something in the memory first, you have to delete it. And I'll show you how to do that. So we'll start with that one. So say I want to put it in memory, I don't know, 100. Menu. Delete memory 28. So memory 28 is delete. Go down.
Delete channel.
Into menu. 100. Confirm.
Confirm.
Now that's deleted whatever was in 100. Okay? Now I want to put it into 100. So memory, menu 27 is memory.
Memory channel.
100. Confirm.
Receiving memory.
Received in memory. Alright, so exit. Now if I go into memory mode.
Channel mode.
And go 100.
1, 0, 0.
There is the frequency. Now on the live, one of the mistakes I made was trying to program while I was in memory mode, and I was scratching my head on that. So again, if you want to program something else, you have to go back out, hit the the VFO button
Frequency
to
mode.
be in frequency mode. And that's it. So that's the only bits of information. So it's not that difficult. There's other features that you can change. You can change the amount of time the backlight's on, the color of the backlight, a whole bunch of others. But if you go to my webpage, under amateur radio, there is a baofeng cheat sheet that has this information in it and just the ones that you need to change. It gives you the memory numbers and how to put that in there. If you're a subscriber, and below that one there's actually a manual. So I took the baofeng BTEC manual and I wrote it in English as opposed to Mandarin translation or Chinese translation to English, which doesn't work very well. So you have access to that full manual. And that's it. So that's the quick, down, and easy way of programming these radios. And even if you do use the software, I do suggest that you go back in and do this from time to time. You can take the cheat sheet that I have there, and I'll actually make a card size one that you can print off and throw in your bag with your radio if you want, so that you have those instructions in there. But do this a few times till you're comfortable with doing it. If you've got a different type of radio, you need to figure out the steps and make yourself up a little card so that you can manually program the radio should you need to do so. It's an important skill to have, especially if you need to program something on the fly. These only have 128 memory locations in them, so you might want to change something. So that's it. Alright, so thanks for following. I appreciate those of you that are subscribers. Those of you who aren't, please consider, because that's what makes all this possible. And with that, catch you on the next one, and again, look at the other videos that I'm going to put up for you. Have a good evening.